Well, good morning, everybody. We're continuing through our Devos as we're learning and walking through how God has taught us to pray. And so I loved what Pastor Mike had to say on Sunday about it's nothing magic in the words, in saying them in the right order, but it's about putting the ideas that God is laying out for us to say in the correct order. So we recognize that He is the Lord of our lives first. And then we recognize that it's His will that will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And that's something that I want to touch on today, on earth as it is in heaven. A lot of times there's a lot of confusion about what the will of God is for my life and how do I ask God for the will for my life. And I want to tell you that's something that you don't need to worry about, because His will is already worked out for you and on earth as it is in heaven. And so we look in the Bible and we look at leaders, great leaders and not so great leaders who had to come before the Lord and humble themselves and say, Lord, what do I do? And so we look at this, and this is in 2 Samuel chapter 7, and this is after Nathan has had a revelation from the Lord, and he tells him to go and tell this to David. And this is David's prayer immediately upon hearing it. In verse 20 it says, "What more can David say to you? For you know your servant, sovereign Lord. For the sake of your word and according to your will, you have done this great thing and made it known to your servant." And so we see that David's recognizing that God is sovereign Lord first. He has made it known to him, and that David couldn't do it of himself. And so that's something that we need to continue to do as we work through our prayer life, as we work through our daily life, is to put the will of God first in our lives and be following faithfully after Him. Because when we put other things in the way, that's when we fall out of the will of God. When we put our needs first, when I put my selfish desires, my sin first, I'm falling away from what God has already planned for me to do. So let's continue to put the will of God first in our life. Have a great day.